To be British is to love dogs. If you don't love dogs, you may as well be French, and what's the point in that? These five live with Robbie and Paul. But the question is, are these really man's best friend or a canine biochemical attack waiting to happen? Are these muttleys more dastardly than their owners? We're here to sniff out the answers. This is Grime Scene Investigation. Each week on Grime Scene Investigation, we stare down the unseen world of bugs and bacteria, then lay the slap down on the microscopic marauders plaguing households across the country. Using cutting-edge technology, we're out to get the germs and microorganisms living with and on our suspects. Our mission? To identify the dirtiest offender, aka the Criminal. The team's led by me, Rufus Hound. The fellow with the hair is Dr. Anthony Hilton, one of the country's leading microbiologists. Papa John Critchell, the bug man. He looks for critters the human eye can't see. The girls who do the dirty work are Jess, Laura and Taria, Anthony's research team, the Antoinettes. Our mobile lab is chock full of kit normally only found in the world's top research facilities, and we've bunged it on a lorry. This week we're in Preston, where dog groomer Robbie and his 5 dogs live with student partner Paul. But this geezer's a chronic asthma sufferer, and something or someone in that house is making his life a misery. We have just 2 days to solve the case. Robbie, Paul, right, get them, let's go. While I detain Robbie and Paul for questioning, Dr. Anthony and his Antoinettes quarantine the house for a full forensic examination. Do you guys think you're in pretty good health?
No.
You don't? What have you got going wrong with you?
I've got bad chronic asthma.
What do you take for that?
Just my inhalers. Like, I wake up like every night and I have to, like 2 o'clock in the morning, I have to take 4 puffs. It's that bad.
So that's a pretty serious dose.
I do take a lot of puffs, don't I? Chew it throughout the day. It's like there's something in that house with my chest. Because honest to God, if I stop out or stop at my mum's on, my chest is fine. I don't know.
0905 swabs taken from living room.
You own 5 dogs. Why?
That's him. Animal lover, not me. So we'll have to get a baby one day, and he's like, "We'll get a puppy."
You know, they don't need the mouths wiping, the bums wiping, or anything like that, and they're just so low maintenance.
0920 floor sampling.
They do have accidents now and again. Like there are times when
I come down this morning, they were piss all over the kitchen.
Yeah, because they were
3 of them had had a piss.
No, there was one week.
What do you do to clean that up?
I just use the mop, chuck the dogs outside and then mop it all up.
So what about outside? That's where you let them out to go?
Yeah, they go outside for a wee and then every day we pick up after, well I pick up after them and then nearly every night we hose it down.
1000 hours, kitchen analysed.
So you, I'm guessing, would be quite surprised if we found very much out there at all.
We just bought a power blaster, but we took it to his work, so we've not power blasted it for about a week.
1045, air quality checked.
Part of this is trying to find out, you know, which of the 2 of you is dirtier than the other one. Who do you think that's going to be? Both pointing at each other. All right, so why do you think it's going to be Paul?
I don't know, he just doesn't seem to be as hygienic as me, I don't think.
Right.
Well, that's just my opinion.
No, he picks the dog poo up, he picks the dog wee up.
I wash my hands.
He grooms dogs with dirty fleas and
hands.
dirty scabs and dirty all sorts all over them. I clean up most of the days while he's at work, so while I'm cleaning, I'm cleaning myself, aren't I, with all the stuff.
You just putting all the germs on you.
Yeah, so I'll just go and have a quick word with Anthony and see if he's found anything at all. From what you're saying, you've got nothing to worry about.
1100 hours, collection of evidence from outhouse.
Hi, just caught me taking some fur samples. I was going to give these to John and see if we can find anything in there.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about first samples, man. It's the smell. It's horrific.
It stinks, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, I just spent ages in the van with 2 blokes telling me they've got good division of labour, they've got a hygiene regime, they know what they're cleaning up, they're jet hosing things down. I was expecting this place to be clean as a whistle. Yet you get here and it stinks like dog
Show you
shit.
something over here.
All right.
I was interested why it smells so bad down here. So I've been having a look around, and look what I found down here. Look at that.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that they're just hosing it down through the cracks in here, and, you know, if the dogs are doing this every single day, I'm surprised there's not hundreds of kilograms of dogs.
Surely you're not going to tell me that everything that dogs do on this deck is just washed underneath it and left.
Yeah, looks to be the case.
Look, close that. I've got other stuff to tell you, but I can't do it here.
We've taken samples all around this cage, around the work surfaces, on the cooker, on the floor, all around the sink as well. One of the nice things we've set up a VRBG transect all the way along the kitchen through the lounge.
VRBG transects?
Yeah, the VRBG plates are the ones that we use to isolate fecal bacteria, and that boarding out there is a real source of contamination. And I would expect that it probably is getting tramped in, and we might be able to see it spread through the house.
Dog feces contain a whole range of bacteria, viruses and parasites, all of them harmful to humans. There's E. coli and Campylobacter, hookworm, tapeworm and Toxocara. Symptoms range from diarrhoea to blindness, and in extreme cases, death. You want this stuff tramped through your house about as much as you want a crap sandwich. Right. What about air purity? What are we doing on that?
We've done some samples onto MEAs, which are for fungal spores, and we've also gone onto nutrient plates for bacteria as well, in here, in the lounge, and upstairs in the bedroom.
Now, the bedroom's where I'm really interested, because Paul's waking up every night having to take 4 puffers on his inhaler. When he's away from home, he doesn't suffer from asthma that badly.
Yeah, well, 4 puffs is an awful lot to be taken, isn't it?
I mean, you can have 4 if you're getting really, really bad, but that's how badly he reckons he's getting it.
Right, and he doesn't think it's anything to do with the house?
Nothing. He said when he's away from home, it's just coincidence.
Maybe we'll find someone that'll convince him otherwise.
Yeah. It's all very well poking around the house for clues, but our suspects will also need a good probing. Who knows what hidden offenders are using Robbie and Paul as a hideout?
So we're going to take a few samples of your body, if that's okay.
We started living in an old house. Mama gave birth and we were checking it out. It was a baby boy, so we bought him a toy. It was a ray gun, and it was 1981.
With every orifice swabbed and probed, it's time for the body scanner. A high-tech and full-body version of photocopying your bum at the office Christmas party. Using these high-res images, we can scour our suspects for every scratch and rash, places that bacteria will see as an open invitation to start trouble. Our scans and swabs indicate the boys are clean, and after 5 hours of evidence gathering, it's time to lift the quarantine. But our analysis has only just begun. Time to send in Papa John, the man with eyes like a hawk and a scanning electron microscope to match. He's using his £250,000 machine to see what might be triggering Paul's asthma. So, Papa J, what are we seeing?
Well, this is some hair from the dogs that was collected in the house. And I'm finding quite a few empty egg cases. It's difficult to decide what they actually were. I'm fairly confident they're mites, but I need to do a bit more work yet to find out for sure.
Okay.
I don't think they're flea cases, but yeah, they could be.
Mites and fleas are pretty bad news. While scabies mites burrow into your flesh, causing intense itching, dog fleas suck human blood and spread several diseases. But could either of these parasites spark off Paul's asthma? So these cases are just stuck on, but we're not finding any actual mites.
No, we haven't done yet, so but, you know, we live in hope.
You're one of the few people I know who wants to have fleas, John. I love the work you do.
Yeah. Okay.
Right then, what are we looking at? I mean, we looked at the house. Much going on in there?
Yes, the first thing when you walked in, you noticed that there was some dogs in there. I guess the smell was...
Yeah, I mean, 5 dogs, there's a lot of pong kicking up.
Yes, and when you walked in the garden, the smell was there as well.
Yeah, I mean, when we looked under the decking, I mean, that shows that where it's washing off underneath there
Yeah,
is, I mean, it's definitely just sitting there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And baking in with the sun.
That's right.
I wouldn't have a barbecue there.
No, not that close to where I saw a dog do a wee-wee. Very unpleasant.
I think it's interesting they've got their washing hanging up right over it as well, so it's like their washing's hanging up over a kind of
bed of poo.
Bed of poo, yeah.
So we've got a lot of things to culture overnight then.
Yeah, we're going to incubate the plates. We'll see what grows tomorrow. Hopefully then we'll be in a better position to tell you what is there. And in particular, I'm going to be interested to see what contribution that dog toilet outside is having on bringing bugs in the house.
The boys and their dogs have settled back into their normal routine, but the cameras we've rigged up will let me and Anthony check on any subconscious criminal activity as these boys lounge around doggy style.
Look at that. I mean, OK, Robbie's playing with the dogs, Paul's smoking a fag.
Lots of dogs in a small room, but what can you do?
So any of these dogs that are anywhere near their faces could have all manner of stuff on their snouts.
Yeah, it's not good, is it?
But these dogs, there you go, licking all over his face. I mean, this isn't good.
Yeah, I mean, licking the face shouldn't be encouraging it, really.
No, not at all. Plus the fact that dogs walk in and out of that garden, that we know what's under that deck, which isn't pleasant. This thing's a hazard.
Yeah, I think we've seen enough. Let's go and get some results.
What, right now?
Yeah, right now.
1500 hours. Evidence snatch.
Right, stand up. Get your faces in here.
Yeah. Put your hat on.
Quickly.
Put your hat on. Stick your head in here. Come on.
We're looking for proof of canine contamination on their faces and clothes.
Close. Get them off, Go. Paul, clothes off. Now, go, run.
Get these back to the lab.
In the bag.
Mission complete. Suspects stripped.
With all the evidence gathered, it's a long night ahead for the Antoinettes as they run the experiments and process Robbie and Paul's results.
I didn't think it would be that intense, but it looks like they found every nook and cranny.
Rob will be the criminal for his dirty habits, like picking his toenails and flicking them and stuff. And
He wipes bogies around the house, on the side of the couch and stuff like that, which is minging.
I don't wipe bogies on the walls. He's chatting poodles. Honestly, no, he's the criminal. He picks his nose.
You know, I always wash my hands.
He picks stuff out of his dog's bums and
I always have a shower.
squeezes anal glands and, you know, just... Oh, wait till I see him.
Day 2, time's against us. Have Anthony and the Antoinettes come up with any major findings?
I've got some data here which basically backs up quite nicely what we saw in the back garden. Remember we looked down that hatch and saw the dog poo down there?
Remember it? I've been having nightmares.
Yeah, well, probably come as no surprise that when we took a sample of it, there's loads of microorganisms there we'd expect to find associated with faeces. But look at this. You remember the house that it is at the bottom like this? Well, we did this transect across to look how the microorganisms might be spreading. And the big thing is, in the garden, there's absolutely loads of them, as you might expect. But then they follow this trail. But interestingly, just outside the dog cage, look at that. Loads again.
That's as bad as in the garden.
I know. So what's happening is you get another big bulk here, and they're traipsing it through the front room and partially up the stairs. And you can see how it kind of fades away as we go up the stairs.
So good news is by the time they get upstairs, they wipe most of it off in the rest of the house.
If there's any good news to be had, that's probably it. So I think we really need to go over and tell them about this, because it's not really very good, is it?
Come on then.
0900. Suspects confronted with evidence.
Morning, fellas. We've got some of the first results back, and we thought we'd come in this morning and show you some of the things that we found. We took some swabs and some samples from out there, and what we found was this. Now, this might not mean that much to you, but all those little red dots there where we were able to grow fecal bacteria. So, unbeknownst to you, we did a slightly secretive experiment, which was we covered...
dog poo?
Yeah. I would have gathered that because it's a tiny yard in it and there's 5 of them.
You should clean it more, shouldn't you?
You should give us an help.
Well, one thing that might inspire you to either clean more or for you to help was the fact that we covered the bottom of your dog's paws in UV dye. We can actually see where they're spreading some of that bacteria. So if you come over here with me, all down by the side of the cabinets.
What's that?
Well, that's where their paws, they've been jumping up and wiping their paws on the cabinet. Worryingly, you've got some on your cooker as well. So if you are, I mean, they haven't jumped up on the handle, but if you were to, touch that, then you'd have some on your hands. Obviously, all around here, down. In fact, probably a better way of seeing it is not with this little lamp. Anthony?
you mop this morning? Yeah. Oh, it's embarrassing as well.
Obviously all round by the washing machine as well, which is like the areas that you're going to touch. But we found similar levels of fecal coliform bacteria and things like that outside as we found down by the cage. Now obviously the cage goes straight through to your living room, and so that's being spread by the dogs in there as well.
It's also around here on your settee.
Around, up the stairs. In fact, we found some just on the side of the coffee table there, so if you did put food down, then arguably they can jump up and get onto that.
It is a bit shocking because you don't think about it because you can't see it. But I know it's there. I can imagine because when the dogs walk in, and it is a small yard, but everybody who's got a dog is going to have that. So, you know, everybody, unless they, I don't know, dip the dog every day or something, but they're going to have traces in the house. So I'm not... Well, it is worrying.
At least it's not our feast.
Yeah, it's not like it's just us.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can still catch diseases from dog feces, though.
There's not really a lot we can do about that, is there?
There are probably some things you could do to reduce the level coming in.
I've ate things off the floor. I've dropped a piece of bread in the kitchen and ate it, and it ain't bothered me.
Yeah. Well, it's probably more by luck than anything else that you haven't been ill, because obviously there's evidence of bacteria on the floor that could make you quite severely ill. And not only that, although we haven't found them, in dog faeces there are other types of parasites, toxicara and other things that can give quite serious infections to humans.
Toxicariasis is spread by the parasitic roundworm Toxicara that lives in dogs. The eggs from the worms are passed through their faeces. Once ingested, the eggs hatch into your intestines and the larvae spread to the organs, causing fever, an enlarged liver and even permanent blindness.
We'll have to stop licking kitchen floor.
I mean, I think you're right. I think most people who've got dogs, you know, are going to have a lot of the similar issues you have. But it's just trying to be aware of them, really.
Yeah, obviously,
It's interesting to find out.
Yeah, because now you've got to think about ways of making it, trying to reduce that.
Now, obviously, whilst it's on their paws, it's probably a pretty good indication that they're carrying it on other parts of them. One of the things that we saw on some of the CCTV footage was the fact that obviously you love your dogs very much, you're very playful with them, but they're licking your face, they're nuzzling into you, the necks and whatever. That's not just that, you know, you could come into contact with it, that's actually it being applied to you. And that's, you know, a genuine concern that we've got, having seen that.
Cleaning up after the dogs more thoroughly will kill off a lot of the germs, but dog poo does not cause asthma attacks. So what is it? Has Papa John found any clues hidden away in those dog hair samples?
What about the stuff that you saw yesterday?
Well, we're not really sure. There's definitely egg cases on the dog hair.
Right.
Most of them of all the whatever was in there has already escaped.
Okay.
Found one or two like this that are a bit indeterminate, but I think they are mite eggs and not flea.
Oh,
Like
that's
a bit small for flea.
But it's not an active infestation and it's
No,
been treated.
it looks, it could well have been dead. It doesn't look too healthy anyway.
No infestation, still no explanation for what's triggering Paul's asthma. This is getting frustrating, but there's one area where we've yet to investigate. The bedroom. It's back to the surveillance cameras.
So, bedroom. We better turn this off before they go to sleep. Alright, so now Robbie's upstairs, and this is where we think the problem area is.
Yep, Aunt Robbie's keeping rats in the bedroom. This could be the cause of Paul's asthma problem.
But these rats are free to run all over the bed. I mean, you know, you're being played with by Robbie. That's going to do Paul no favours at all.
Dogs, cats, rabbits and other hairy creatures all shed fur. If you're allergic to it and suffer from asthma, the chances of an attack are dramatically increased.
What is he letting it do there?
Yeah, I mean, the rat there is crawling all over him. Look how close it is to his face. You know, if Paul does get in for a little cuddle or something, he's going to have problems there as well.
I mean, I don't mind rats, but I don't think I fancy them on my face like that, really.
No. So we know Paul has got problems in the bedroom. We know he's got problems sleeping nights. That bedroom's a danger zone.
So, I mean, we could check. We could go and maybe take a few samples.
All right, well, we better go and do that now then.
Let's go.
This has got to be the breakthrough we need. If Paul has a reaction to a sample of rat fur, it could indicate that the rats are the key to Paul's asthma nightmare.
Would it be all right if we do a little experiment on you just to see if it is the rat fur?
It sounded like an earthquake. It didn't last long because I started.
Okay, so you keep an eye on that, and if it starts itching or anything, you let me know, but we'll have a look at it in a few minutes, okay? Could I have a look at that now and see if there's any reaction? Doesn't seem to be doing anything at all, does it? And that's been about 20 minutes that's been on there.
It's the fur.
If we got a rat maybe and you handle it and we could have a look at it, would that be alright?
Dolly over and put it on my arm.
Yeah? Then we'll do that.
See it.
Okay. Jess, would you mind going and getting one of the rats for us?
This is a bit of a mystery. Paul's asthma hasn't flared up, but handling the rat has brought out an altogether different reaction.
Oh, it looks sore.
You can really see it's like a nettle sting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Right then, what are we looking at?
We've taken a sample of the rat's feet because we're not quite sure what's going on now. We'll culture that and maybe see what happens. Well, that's quite an interesting little result there.
Hopefully our test results will explain that rash. But the rats aren't sparking off Paul's asthma. There's got to be another unseen threat hiding away in that bedroom.
You know, I wondered if there's something I'm missing, just some clue that I've not quite got from these guys.
Yeah, but we've already done all the tests. All right, he's touch allergic, but you strapped the fur to him. That didn't seem to have much of an effect.
Yeah, I know.
But maybe we've done what we can do. We did the air tests. They turned out all right.
Yeah, they did. I mean, the spore load is quite low. There's no bacterial airborne pathogens that I can see, but...
Yeah, well, look, he's a smoker. Maybe that's all there is to it. All right, might be just a coincidence that he doesn't seem to suffer so badly when he's on holiday.
Cigarette smoke irritates the airways, worsening the inflammation, and is one of the major factors in firing up an attack. But it still doesn't explain why Paul's asthma is getting worse at night, unless he's sleep smoking, which he isn't.
Maybe we just chalk this one down to experience.
Just a minute, what's this?
What?
Just a minute. Have you got a knife?
Always. What are you doing?
Just got an idea, just bear with me. Look at all this in here.
Well, a duck-down pillow.
Yeah.
But of course, it's like a heaven for dust mites.
Exactly.
Get this to Papa John.
Let's see what he can find for us.
He's going to love you.
Let's hope Papa J can find the cause of all Paul's bedroom issues, but he'll need to work fast. We've just about run out of time.
Antoinette.
Have you got all the results ready? Have you done the isolations, characterisations, identifications? That's brilliant.
OK, well then it's time to get Robbie and Paul. Go, power team, go. Now it's just time to play the old waiting game.
How do we do that?
Just waiting.
Ready or not, it's time to drag Robbie and Paul in and confront them with our findings.
Paul and Robbie, it's results time. Come with us.
We looked at your house, we looked at some of the things that we thought were exacerbating your asthma. 5 dogs, we thought, oh, you know, there's going to be a field day in there. But genuinely, walking around the house, it was very clear that you guys do know what you're doing. You know, it wasn't like, oh, you know, if only they knew. You clearly do take a very measured approach to it, certainly as far as, you know, the cleaning and all of those things go. All of which then made us a bit confused about exactly what was making your asthma so bad, especially at night time. Then when we saw the rats in the bedroom, obviously a lot of people have a reaction to animal fur. And so we did that test of sellotaping some of the fur onto your arm.
We didn't see anything flare up, and that really put us off the scent for a while.
Which we frankly found bitterly disappointing.
Paul didn't have an asthma reaction to the fur, but he did have an allergy to something on their paws.
Essentially, where you're keeping them in the cages, and they're doing their business in the bottom of the cage, they obviously got that on their paws. So when that makes contact with your skin, we think that's what was giving you such a tough time.
It's not like the nails themselves.
Well, not the nails themselves, no. The nails are just sort of scratching the skin slightly as they're scrabbling over your arms, and that's just allowing your immune system to come into contact with the urine, so that then you have an allergic reaction to that.
All of which rather upset me, because I was pretty sure that there might be fur where you were playing with them on the bed, and that was what was giving you such a bad time with the asthma.
We've been looking so much to find a biological reason why your asthma might be quite bad, particularly in your bedroom. And we've become so sort of focused and blinkered on that we overlooked one of the potential reasons of a sort of environmental concern, and that was the fact that there were feathers on your floor, and we did find that you have a duck-down quilt and also duck-down pillows as well.
I find it comfy, don't I?
The other thing that they are, as well as comfy, is an absolute haven for these little critters, dust mites. Bear in mind, these pictures came straight out of your house. And it isn't so much the mites that people are allergic to, it's the dust mite feces.
Right.
Because anything you can see on there, it's a tiny circle, is dust mite feces.
Wow.
But isn't dust mites in everything? You can't really get rid of dust mites, can you, like?
The only reason we're bringing it up isn't that you had more than in a normal household, far from it. It's merely that your asthma is so bad, we're pretty sure this is one of the major contributing factors.
How old are the duck feather pillows that you've got?
Fairly old, I think.
No, they're not. They're about a year and a half old.
About a year and a half. A 2-year-old pillow, about 10% of the weight will be dust mite feces and dead dust mites. In a typical mattress, there's probably about 100,000 to about 10 million dust mites. So our advice to you really is to first of all get rid of the feather pillows and the feather duvet, and then maybe buy yourself a mattress cover. The idea is to put the mattress cover over and underneath the sheet, and that will keep you from being exposed to the dust mites and their feces. And also consider buying a pillow with some synthetic fibre in there, which is hypoallergenic.
All of which brings us to the point, with the Grime Scene Investigation, we are forever trying to boil it down and see who is the criminal. It was pretty hard to find something that nudged it one way or the other, but the clincher really was the fact that I found out you bought the duck down bed sheets. And for that reason and that reason alone, I'm afraid, you, Robbie, are the criminal.
Fine. At least it's not on me, it's just the bed sheet.
So you're going to get rid of the duck down pillows and the duvet?
I don't mind particularly. If they want to go, if they need to go, they can go. It's, you know, it's just, they're just nice and comfy, that's all. It's just, well, it's your health, so you get rid of them.
You bought them.
So, you was agreed with it. You were like, yeah, let's buy that.
So, in the end, it wasn't the obvious. The dogs, rats, fags and fur were all innocent of causing Paul's asthma. Instead, it was the millions of dastardly dust mites pooing in Paul's pillow.
I'm quite pleased that Robbie's the criminal and I'm not, because I know I'm a nice, clean person and proud.
Because he doesn't like anything said bad against him.
And Robbie's just a dirty minger who picks stuff out of his dog bums, and
He isn't Mary Poppins, he isn't perfect in every way.
and that can be his nickname from now on, criminal.
Well, I am Mary Poppins because I'm practically perfect in every way.
You know, you own a dog, you own a poo machine. A cutesy, furry poo machine, but a poo machine nonetheless. Robbie and Paul live with 5 of them, so the spread of faecal contamination was to be expected, even if the smell wasn't. To be honest, as long as they scrub down that back deck properly, they're going to get rid of their bacteria and our concerns. To be honest, we were more worried about Paul's asthma. The triple whammy of the duck down, the smoking and those rats has left his night times a nightmare. Although, to be honest, I think if they learn anything from this, if they're going to make any changes at all, it'll be much like the demise of Take That. All started by Robbie. Never forget where you're coming from.